In January 2024, 18-year-old Niharika, a JEE aspirant in Kota, tragically ended her life just 2 days before her scheduled exam. In a note, she wrote, "Mom and Dad, I can't do JEE, so I'm committing. I'm a loser. I'm the reason. I'm the worst daughter. Sorry, Mom and Dad. This is the last option." We all grew up hearing one thing: crack JEE and your life is set. But what if I told you this one sentence, this holy grail of Indian middle class dreams, has quietly become one of the biggest traps in our education system? Not just a mistake, a trap. A cleverly disguised machine that promises success but often delivers burnout, unemployment, and disappointment. Hi, I'm Shamrat. I studied computer science engineering at BITS Pilani, got the placements, lived the dream they told me to chase. But in that chase, I saw hundreds fall behind. Brilliant minds pushed into rote formulas, creative kids told to focus on marks. And today, I want to unpack why the JEE system might be doing more harm than actually good. Not out of hate, but because no one's talking about it. Let's start from the beginning. JEE was created to democratize access to India's top engineering colleges, to find the brightest minds, to reward merit. But somehow along the way, the system stopped selecting for talent and started selecting for test-taking machines. It stopped looking for creators and started producing calculators. Today, the average JEE student does not build project, does not explore curiosity. They just solve MCQs. They're trained in a culture of elimination, not exploration. And guess what? That culture bleeds into everything. I mean, think this way. When you reduce problem solving to a 4-option guess, you destroy the very essence of engineering, the ability to ask really good questions. Professor Sarit Kumar Das from IT Madras pointed this out. The shift to MCQs has killed conceptual depth. Physics problems that once required derivation and logic, now just shortcuts and answer elimination. And coaching institutes, they double down on this. There are courses where kids are taught wrong science if it helps them to solve faster. A Reddit user even called this out, citing how the photoelectric effect is taught incorrectly on purpose to just save time. This isn't education, this is exam hacking. 1.5 million students, 34,000 seats, and one algorithm that decides the future. Welcome to JOSA counseling. At the core is a deferred acceptance algorithm, DA. A system that sounds fair on paper, but in reality punishes the uninformed. For example, in 2021, Siddhanta Batra lost his IT Bombay computer science engineering seat due to a single misclick. He had to approach the Supreme Court just to fix an error caused by a system that prioritizes rigid algorithms over real human aspirations. It forces students to lock in college preferences without knowing real-time cutoffs. One wrong guess and your dream branch or college is gone forever. Online counseling has made things worse. The digital divide is real. Unstable internet, complicated interfaces, and lack of guidance mean that Tier 2 and Tier 3 students might be facing a high rejection rates due to document issues. And then there's the mental toll that is not even accounted for. Meanwhile, help desks in rural areas are virtually non-existent. And when things break, there's no accountability. In 2021, the Siddhanta Batra case showed us how one misclick could cost someone a future unless they have the means to go to the Supreme Court. It's about a counseling system that turns hope into heartbreak through complexity, opacity, and silence. 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, 2 to 4 years straight. This is the average JEE aspirant's life. And what do they lose in the process? Sleep, joy, curiosity, social skills, and mental health. Teenagers who should be exploring the world are instead treated like robots in crime factories. Case after cases show anxiety, burnout, and identity loss. And these aren't fringe cases, it's happening at scale. Personally, I knew this shit is not for me. I knew this seems like an algorithm I'm definitely gonna get lost into. And I almost did. Had my mother not fought for me and talked some sense into me, I would have also turned out as another mediocre engineer from one of the some random name same looking college. And even after all that effort, JEE cracked, IIT cracked, BTech completed, the nightmare kind of does not end. According to a report by Aspiring Minds, over 80% of Indian engineers are unemployable in modern tech roles. Only 1.7% have the skills for AIML and data-driven jobs. And why? Because the system teaches 20th century syllabi to 21st century students. Because we are still teaching physics derivations while the world is building GPT-5. Because our best colleges are stuck being coaching centers with mess halls. Even many so-called colleges with 80 to 90% placement rates, average salaries hover around 4 LPA. Global standards, not even close. The top colleges in this country are caught in an identity crisis. They're celebrated as academic giants, but the research output lags far behind China and US because the entrance exam filters for memorization, not research potential. And now the government is planning to create more coaching style schools to prepare students for IITs. That's not fixing the problem, that's doubling down on it. If the system is broken, what do we do instead? Look at Germany, look at Finland, look at the SAT optional wave in the United States. Other countries are moving towards portfolio portfolios, projects, and interviews while we're still stuck worshipping test scores. It doesn't have to be this way. You can create a new system that rewards creativity over cram, collaboration over competition, skill building over shortcut memorizing. We need more schools that embed internships, boot camps, and real world applications into learning. We need digital equity, mental health support, industry aligned curriculums. We need to make engineering about building again, not just qualifying. You were told that JEE is the only way, but that's a lie we need to break, because the truth is your intelligence is not defined by your rank and your worth is not defined by your score. So whether you crack JEE or not, remember, you can still build, still create, still thrive. The trap may be real, but you don't have to fall for it. And if you are ready to start building something of your own, just hit the subscribe button, join my Discord, and do check out Foru Club out. Let's rethink the future together. Peace out, future builder.